The current phase of the Sandridge project will be open for traffic on July 30th at 11 p.m.
And so at that point in time, all of the barricades, the signage, everything is going to be removed. Is that right?
The barricades and signage will be removed that indicate the detours. The roads will be reopened. There will still be maintenance of traffic signage preparing you to enter the Sandridge construction zone to the east. That'll continue until Russell Baptist Church and then, in essence, all the way to Russell Road eventually.
And so at that point in time, at 11 o'clock p.m. on July 30th, we are going to remove the barricades, remove the signage. It'll be fully open on July 31st. Is that right?
Yes, Eagle Haven and Jubilee Lane will both be open for traffic. Branscombe will be reopened for traffic, and the road should be complete in that area with a final topping and striping to be done at a later date.
And so when we are moving the barricades and the signage and during that transition phase from closed to open, will we have extra law enforcement presence? How is public safety going to be affected, or will it be affected?
The existing law enforcement officer that's there on a 24/7 basis will remain there until about 7 a.m. on July 31st. There will be additional forces there to assist us in moving barricades and making sure the traffic flows freely. Lake Asbury's fire station will have their battalion safety officer will be positioned on the site to ensure that any calls that happen in that 15 to 30 minute period will be handled effectively.
Great. And so Craig County Sheriff's Office is also going to have, from our safety meeting yesterday, they relayed that they're going to have additional law enforcement presence in the area in the several days after the opening. Is that right?
Yes, we understand there'll be additional law enforcement in the area to maintain traffic flow, make sure there's no, just for enforcement in the Eagle Haven, Jubilee streets, as well as Branscombe.
And so what do drivers need to be aware of after this phase is done?
The road will be finished as far as the 5 lanes of traffic and that. You will be entering a construction zone though. There'll still be some orange signs for the maintenance of traffic for the future, for the construction zone to the east. So just maintain safe speed and be alert.
And so that, you hit the nail on the head there, because while we're done with this phase of the Sandridge project, this project overall on Sandridge is not done. So what can drivers expect for this next phase?
The next phase is going to be, the road will stay open. We're not anticipating any permanent closures except for maybe a short-term trucking, hauling situation where equipment has to be unloaded or loaded. There will be single lane closures. We're taking Sandridge from a 2-lane road to a 3-lane road with a median in the middle. It'll look a lot like Town Center Boulevard in Fleming Island. So it'll have bike lanes and sidewalks on both sides. It's going to be a very disruptive path for the next 2 years.
For the next 2 years, that's how long this next phase of the Sandridge project is going to take?
Correct. We have until March of 2025 to complete it.
So to be clear, this phase of Sandridge that has been closed since several weeks ago is done, and we're finished by July 31st. So now we're moving that project past the schools, the detours are opening, and we're going to have intermittent lane closures and possible delays on Sandridge from the schools down to Russell Baptist Church. Is that correct?
That's correct. And then that will continue all the way to Russell Road as the next phase of the Sandridge, as future phases of the Sandridge project are constructed.
Okay, so as it stands right now, no more detours on Sandridge after July 30th, and just intermittent lane closures and possible delays in that area.
That is correct.
Okay. And now school's starting, obviously, on August 10th. Clay County students go back to school. What should parents be aware of if their child is walking to school this year?
We're going to review any new traffic patterns for the kids, for the pedestrians. We'll be reviewing those with the school board and the PSA officers, as well as the school board's police department. There will be new sidewalks on the Winn-Dixie side of the road, and we'll make sure the kids safely cross. The crossing will be a little bit different in the sense that you can still cross at Henley, but we'll make sure that the PSA officers are aware of the striped crossing for the area near Lake Asbury Junior High and elementary schools, in the area between the two schools.
And if you're a parent and your child is walking to school this year, would it be safe to say it's encouraged to have them and walk with them on that route they're going to take ahead of school starting?
It's not a bad idea. The only area you should see any sort of construction going on, though, is a small area just on the east side of Lake Asbury Junior High, where there's a parking lot that'll still be some construction activity on. The rest of the site should be complete.
And so this project, I mean, it's a multi-year project. It's been in the works for quite some time. Why is this project needed in this area?
This area has this road is operating at a level of service C now, which is good, which is adequate. It's not going to be that way much longer. There's a lot of new homes being built in the area. A lot of new residents are moving in, and we're just hoping that this will maintain the traffic flow and keep it to where folks can get back and forth to business and work and shopping conveniently.
So it's going to increase traffic flow and safety, essentially.
Yeah, it should. It'll definitely be safer. It'll be a much safer road. There'll be bike lanes on it. You can walk. You'll be able to walk to Ronnie Van Zant Park, to Winn-Dixie, to school. All of those sidewalks will be open, and that'll make it much more pedestrian friendly.
And so now that next phase of the project, the one that we talked about from the schools all the way down to Russell Baptist Church, when is that going to start?
Immediately. It will start. They may take Monday off, July 31st. I'm not sure, but it'll start July 31st. Actually, it's already started. If you've been down there, you know that their yard that they use, the contractor's construction area, is there in an area right next to the First Coast Expressway overpass. So they will begin work immediately.
Immediately. All right. Is there anything else you wanted to add, or anything else that residents should know? The contract's been very efficient. They're working as fast as safely as they can. This closure probably saved us 1.5, maybe 2 school years of disruption. We went through about a month of work at the end of last year's school term while the kids were loaded and unloaded, and found out that wasn't a whole lot of fun. We had a lot of phone calls, a lot of folks with suggestions. One suggestion was, don't start work until the last kid is in school and the first kid leaves. That would make it from about a 9:30 in the morning to 1:30 in the afternoon work period. We probably would have taken 3 years to do what we did in 65 days. So we feel like this was the best way to do it. The other thing is, we will be working with law enforcement with a major safety meeting next Thursday to go over the safe route to school for the kids that are walking, for the school buses, for the parents coming in and out. I don't expect any major differences. I would encourage you to maybe drive the route if you're taking the left into Lake Asbury Elementary School or into the junior high, just to see what it's like before you do it that Thursday morning school starts. And that's a good point too. I believe next week we've been meeting, the safety team's been meeting since this project started, and that's obviously it's the Clay County Sheriff's Office, it's us, the county, and the fire rescue. And next week we're looping in the school district and multiple facets from that organization to just ensure that we're all on the same page, answer any questions they might have, and just make sure we're as prepared as we can be ahead of school starting.
Yep, that's the plan. So everyone knows what's going on.